Hey everyone, my name is Mike Henderson, the founder of Black Gay International Travelers and the BAGcollective.org. Come join us at hashtag VerseTV. Comment, like, share, and subscribe.
Hashtag VerseTV week 149. Hello, social media family, and welcome to hashtag VerseTV week 149. I'm Aaron Mack, and I'm here with my good friend, 20-year professional travel consultant with his master's degree in urban planning, founder of Black and Gay International Travel, Mike Henderson. Mike Henderson, please introduce yourself, say hi to our hashtag VerseTV family.
Thank you, Aaron. Hello, everybody. My name is Mike Henderson. As he mentioned, it's an honor to be here. This is my first time on Verse Team. I'm honored, and I would love to share information about my group and get people enthused about the things that I'm enthused about, which is travel and making social network connections. So I'm just thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
We at hashtag VerseTV are thrilled to have you. Thank you. Absolutely. Now, first, for our audience who may not yet know, where are you from and what do you love most about your origin journey thus far?
I was born and raised in Los Angeles. It's my home. Part of what drove my exploration attribute, so to speak, is it's such a unique city, and I've always been curious about it since I was a kid. Funny story, I used to even take my allowance money instead of just buying candy or toys. I would actually use it on bus fare to just quote unquote drop myself off in different parts of the city, walk around and explore, pretend I was on an adventure. That's in my blood. And actually I actually wanted to start a group like BAGit. I have another group called Black and Gay in LA, BGLA, as well. So what we do is take trips, or we do events around the city, exploring little quirky places here and there. And the Urban Planning Masters was also a derivative of that mentality. I want people to feel as enthused about travel and exploration as I am. And also, another reason I started Black Gay International Travel was because the Black community, particularly Black males, we do not travel internationally as much as we should, so to speak. So the danger in that is we leave the impression of us to the media as opposed to being in control of it. In other words, if you want to change perception, show your face. So, and kind of getting rid of some of the assumptions that we have. You've heard it all. They don't like us over there. Why do I need to travel at all? And it's the curiosity is probably there, but the drive and the desire isn't. But Black women, on the other hand, they'll travel solo if they have to. So Black Gay International Travel was started off targeted toward Black males in particular, but it's opened up since then. That was always a long-term goal. But I definitely got some positive feedback since starting the group, and I'm seeing a lot of, this almost mentality is enlightening. I didn't know I could do this. I didn't know I could go here. Like, you really went there. How was it? And said, it's not how you perceived it to be, where they're talking about Asia or Europe or the South Pacific. It just makes me happy to see the same enthusiasm that I have, and people actually feeling like it's a real thing to actually do it, as opposed to just maybe thinking about it or allowing peer pressure to talk us out of exploration and showing the world who we are, as opposed to what they see in movies and TV.
Fantastic. Now, you actually kind of touched on this just a moment ago, but I'm still going to formally ask this question. What inspired you to create an organization that caters to the needs of the Black and Gay international traveler? And from where did the choice of the name BAGit come?
Well, originally the name was Black and Gay International Travelers. I still have the A in there, so I leave the A in the acronym BAGit, BAG space it. Um, the problem I ran into was if I said black and gay international travelers, some interpreted it as you're black or you're gay. So so it's not like I want to shut the group off to some people, but at the same time, the goal is to get more uh, black, um, not just Americans, but more black people around the world to travel and also make social bonds, connections that were maybe broken 400-ish years ago. And you'll see on my website that I'll mention later, one of the themes and one of the slogans is rebuilding bonds across the African diaspora. So it's to me it's a way of educating us about ourselves and about each other, or we're re-educating, so to speak. Uh, that was the driving factor, is opening people's eyes and hey, there's a whole world out there ready to explore. And by the way, you don't have to, you're not a potted plant. I always make that joke on my Facebook groups. It's free to, you can roam, you have legs, you have you have the ability to get a passport. And even if you want to be an expat, you want to explore moving somewhere else, you're not, feel free to use travel to uh, research those options as well, which is what I arrange in my groups as well. Like we have a trip to Portugal coming up at the end of September, and I'm also a member of a group called Black in Portugal on Facebook, and I'm actually coordinating an event with them that I think would be very educational and welcoming. I'm in touch with some members who are part of expat groups in Panama. So those are just two examples. We should have freedom to travel. We should feel like we have that freedom. If our economic situation isn't maximized here, there's nothing stopping us from maximizing it somewhere else. And so it's just getting rid of that, as we've all heard, that plantation mentality. I mean, to put it crudely, it's free to go. It's free to, yeah, you're free to go. Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing. Now, Aaron Mack, I've experienced firsthand that the pleasure derived from a travel destination can largely be based on your company, your
Yes.
travelers, your co-travelers. And in
Exactly.
your experience, what are the three top travel destinations for a small group of Black and gay friends, stateside and abroad, and why?
Uh, my favorites. I mean, I could talk about my favorites, but I'm always careful about not ranking places for everyone because different places speak to people differently. Personally, I love Vancouver. It's very LGBT friendly. It's one of the most beautiful cities in the world. I'm an outdoorsy kind of person. There's hiking. There's, if you go up to Whistler, there's snowboarding, skiing. Um, there's whale watching. I mean, it's very similar to Los Angeles in that sense, where you have this big metropolis, but at the same time, it's surrounded by all these excellent natural features within a short drive. Uh, Another one of my favorite cities actually is Hong Kong. It's, to me, I joke that it's New York on steroids. The skyline is by far the best in the world. The food is excellent, and it's a city. As an urban planning nerd, it's it's one of the most laid out cities, the best laid out cities in the world. You have the different levels of the city. It's like how I would design it. It's very easy to get around. It functions well for the people who live there. There's no very little waste of space, so to speak. Like you go in an alleyway, it's being used for some purpose, whether it's a night market or I've seen pop-up classrooms in the daytime. Like let's say it's too hot in the classroom, you have just a teacher just set up chairs and tables right in the alleyway. You know, it's works for the people, which is I think a city should be. It shouldn't just be some kind of like museum where people are afraid to touch it, or a garbage dump, which would be the other side, where people just don't care about it. They just throw anything anywhere and act as if there's no consequences. So that's one of my fascinations with Hong Kong. The third one, I actually love Munich, Germany. It's it's a beautiful city. Obviously, it's old, but also has a young vibe to it in terms of the energy on the street with the, not to mention Oktoberfest, but it's old without being stuffy. It's easy to get around. The transit system is excellent. I love the urban parks there. It's another one of those cities where I think works for the people there, and it's easily navigatable for visitors. There's no question where you are. The landmarks are pretty obvious, and I just had one of the best experiences there. I went with a friend or a couple of friends actually, and it was just a great time. I mean, it was probably one of my favorite travel experiences ever, and that wasn't even during Oktoberfest. So it was just kind of like an off-season visit, but it was unforgettable. Uh, when you say LGBT, you will ask the question probably later, but if you're talking about LGBT friendly versus not, I am conscious of that. Of course, I read the State Department warnings, and I would not bring the group to a place that was overly hostile, or even, you have laws on the books in some places, but in practice, it might be something else. So I actually would chat with locals if there's some particular place that you want to go to. You don't want to necessarily be barred from, let's say, seeing the people. So we do have our Facebook page, Black and Gay International Travelers. There's also Meetup, same name, Black and Gay International Travelers. We're also on Meetup, Black and Gay in LA. And I just started a new group, Black in Asia, so that would focus on specifically on not necessarily Black LGBT, but Black adults traveling to Asia. And the reason I love, that's one of my specialties as far as planning travel, but it also is, if you're going to get out of your comfort zone, it's one of the places that probably differs from our own culture that we're used to the most, in terms of, like, especially Southeast Asia. So another reason I targeted is that the further we get out of our comfort zone together, that opens up vulnerability, and with vulnerability comes growth. So if everybody's kind of, I mean, you mentioned those clicks before, hey, I want to travel with my friends, whatever, that's fine. But if we're all kind of sharing an adventure together where everybody's kind of a little off kilter, I don't know where I am, they don't necessarily speak what I speak, it's kind of, this is different kind of food, different experiences. And with that comes, hey, I need my buddy here. let's explore this together. And then next thing you know, you got people opening themselves up to learning about one another. So I do want people to be a little uncomfortable. I do want, like I mentioned, the resorts, like, okay, you can sit there, but are you growing? Travel is growth. Travel is developing a community if you're going with a group. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I like to make people uncomfortable for the purpose of growth, not to create a bad experience. It may seem bad at first, but if they have an open mind, if they have a curious mind, they could turn into one of the most wonderful experiences they can have in their life.
There it is. BAGit your growth.